Hey everyone, welcome back to Learn English Buddy.
Yeah, we're really happy you're here.
Yeah, whether you're listening in the morning, maybe on the bus, at your desk, or even late at night trying to get in a little English before bed. Seriously, thanks for spending this time with us.
Seriously, thanks for pressing play.
And today, we're talking about something that is so real, and honestly, it's kind of painful.
Oh, very painful.
Yeah, very painful. We're talking about that weird moment when you understand English, but then when it's time to speak,
Nothing.
nothing.
Your brain it leaves the chat.
Exactly. Suddenly the words just disappear, your mouth stops working, and you're just sitting there smiling like,
Right, like, yes, I am a person with thoughts. I cannot access them right now.
exactly that.
And if that's you, first of all, you are so not alone.
Yeah, so if you've ever thought, why can I understand podcasts, videos, movies, even conversations sometimes, but I still freeze when I try to speak? Well, then this episode is definitely for you.
Because there's a reason that happens.
And the good news is, it doesn't mean you're bad at English.
Not at all.
It usually just means something much more normal.
And later in this episode, we're also going to talk about a few simple things you can actually do, like this week, to start making speaking feel easier.
Not in 6 months.
Not in 6 months, like this week.
We love that.
We do.
Okay, so Daniel, let's start here. Why does this happen to so many people? Why can someone understand English pretty well, but still feel completely stuck when it's time to speak?
Yeah, this is one of the biggest frustrations in language learning, honestly. I hear it all the time. People say, I can understand a lot. I can follow videos. I can follow podcasts. I know words. I know grammar. So why can't I just talk?
Right.
And the first thing I want to say is understanding and speaking are connected, but they're not the same skill.
That sentence alone already makes me feel better.
Good. Because a lot of learners think, well, if I understand English, I should automatically be able to speak it. But that's not really how it works.
Yeah, because listening feels so different from speaking.
Exactly. When you listen, the English is already there for you, right? The words are there, the grammar's there, the sentence is already built. Your job is just to hear it and understand the meaning.
Right, you're receiving it.
Exactly. But when you speak, you have to create the sentence yourself. You have to find the words, choose the grammar, put everything in order, and then say it out loud in real time.
Which is a lot.
It is a lot, and it happens fast. That's why someone can be a strong listener and still, well, feel like a weak speaker.
That makes so much sense. Because I think a lot of learners, they blame themselves.
They do.
They think, what is wrong with me? Why am I stuck? Why am I still like this?
Yeah, and honestly, that self-blame, it makes the problem worse. Because now you're not just trying to speak English, you're also dealing with frustration and embarrassment at the same time.
Which is a terrible combination.
It really is.
So if someone is listening right now and thinking, okay, that's me, that's exactly me, what's the biggest reason that this gap, well, gets so big?
The biggest reason is usually practice. Most people spend way more time listening to English than, well, speaking English.
Yep.
They watch YouTube, they listen to music, they listen to podcasts, they watch shows, they maybe read a little too. So their understanding, it keeps growing.
But their speaking doesn't get the same workout.
Exactly. Speaking is kind of like a muscle. If you don't use it, it doesn't get stronger.
I really like that image.
Yeah, because you can't build speaking just by watching other people speak. That would be like, I don't know, trying to learn piano by watching piano videos all day.
I mean, I would love if that worked.
Same. Life would be easier.
I watched 4 piano videos. I am now concert ready.
Exactly. Sadly, no. At some point, you have to put your hands on the keys.
And with speaking, you have to actually open your mouth and do it.
Right. Your brain, your mouth, your ears, they all have to learn to work together.
So part of the problem is just that people don't get enough real speaking practice.
Yeah, but that's not the whole story.
Right, because sometimes people do know the words and they still freeze.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second big reason, fear.
Yes.
Fear is huge. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding slow, fear of using the wrong word, fear of being judged, fear of hearing silence after you say something.
Ooh, the silence after you say something in English, it can feel so loud.
It really can.
And then your brain starts spiraling. Was that wrong? Did I say that weird? Why are they looking at me like that? Oh no, now I'm making it worse.
Exactly. And when that happens, your brain stops trying to communicate. It starts trying to, well, protect you.
Wow.
Yeah, so instead of looking for a simple, clear sentence, your brain starts searching for the perfect sentence.
Which is basically impossible in real time.
Exactly. The perfect word, the perfect grammar, the perfect pronunciation. And that pressure, it can shut everything down.
That is so real.
It really is. A lot of people think, I can't speak because I don't know enough English. But sometimes the truth is, I can't speak because I'm trying so hard not to make a mistake.
That is such an important difference.
It is, because one problem is about knowledge and the other is about pressure.
And pressure, it can make smart people sound like they know nothing.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the hardest parts. You know you're not a beginner anymore. You know you understand a lot. But when you speak, you suddenly sound much less advanced than you really are.
Yeah, and that can feel really discouraging.
It can. It can make you feel like all your hard work is invisible.
Exactly. But it's not invisible. Your listening is real. Your understanding is real. Your progress is real. Speaking just needs its own kind of practice.
I love that. That feels really encouraging without sounding fake.
Good, because I don't want to just say, oh, believe in yourself, and then leave it there.
Right, because people are like, okay, but I still need to talk.
Exactly. So let's talk about what people can actually do.
Yes, please. Let's make this practical.
Okay, first thing, change the goal.
Hmm.
If your goal is, I want to sound perfect, well, you're going to feel stressed all the time.
Yeah, because perfect is always moving.
Exactly. And perfect doesn't really exist in conversation anyway, right? Native speakers make mistakes. They pause, they change words in the middle of a sentence, they start over. That's normal.
They say,
They say all the time.
They forget words, too.
All the time.
I literally forgot the word freezer the other day.
Wait, really?
Yes, I stood in my kitchen and said, Daniel, what is the cold box called?
The cold box.
The cold box.
Honestly, that still communicates.
It really does.
And that's the point. Communication first. Perfection later. Maybe much later.
Maybe never.
Maybe never, and that's okay.
So the first mindset shift is my goal is not to sound perfect. My goal is just to get my idea across.
Exactly. That one shift, it helps people relax so much.
Okay, so once someone has that mindset, what's the best first step for actual speaking practice?
My favorite first step is very simple, and I know it sounds a little funny.
Good, I love funny.
Talk to yourself.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because it works.
It really does.
It's one of the best ways to start because there's no pressure. No one is judging you, no one is interrupting you, no one is waiting for you to be fast.
You can be slow, messy, awkward.
Exactly. You can stop in the middle of a sentence. You can try again. You can look up a word. You can even say the sentence a second time.
And I think that matters a lot because real speaking practice, it can feel scary, but talking to yourself feels safe.
Yeah, and safe practice is still real practice.
That is such a good line.
Thank you. It's true. You don't have to start with a conversation partner if that feels too scary. You can start in your room, in your car, in the kitchen, on a walk.
Just describing your day.
Exactly. I'm making breakfast. I need to answer this email. I'm tired today. I forgot my water bottle. Simple things.
I really love that because it uses your real life.
Yeah, and that makes it easier to remember. You're not trying to talk about some random topic you don't care about. You're talking about your actual day.
Which is what real conversation usually is anyway.
Exactly. Real conversation is often very simple. What are you doing? How was your day? What happened? What do you need? What do you think?
It's not always some deep academic debate.
No, usually not.
Usually it's more like, I'm hungry. That was weird. I need coffee. Why is this email so long?
Exactly.
Okay, so step 1, talk to yourself. What's next?
Step 2, shadowing.
I love shadowing.
Me too. Shadowing is so helpful, especially for people who feel like speaking is physically hard.
Yeah, not just mentally hard, but physically hard.
Exactly. Sometimes people know what they want to say, but speaking English still, well, it feels awkward in their mouth. The sounds feel unfamiliar. The rhythm feels unfamiliar.
And shadowing really helps with that.
It does. So, shadowing, basically you listen to a native speaker or a fluent speaker and you repeat right after them, maybe 1 second behind, maybe 2 seconds behind. You try to copy the sound, the rhythm, the stress, the melody.
The music of the sentence.
Exactly. And it helps because you're not creating everything from zero. You're borrowing the sentence for a moment.
Oh, I love that way of putting it.
Yeah, you're borrowing the sentence. So your brain, it doesn't have to work as hard to build language from scratch. You can focus more on how speaking feels.
That makes it a lot less scary.
It really does. And it also helps people sound more natural over time because they start to feel English in a more connected way.
Not word by word.
Exactly. More like thought groups, more like natural speech.
Do you think people should use a transcript when they do shadowing?
I think both ways can help. If you're more comfortable reading along at first, that's okay, especially if you're still getting used to the sounds.
Right.
But I also think it's great to do some shadowing without reading, because then, well, your ears have to work harder, and that's really good practice too.
So maybe start with the transcript and then slowly do more by ear?
Exactly. You don't have to choose one forever. You can mix both.
I like that because it gives people options.
Yeah, and with language learning, options are good. People need ways to practice that actually fit their energy and confidence level.
That is so true, because sometimes you have energy for a challenge.
And sometimes, well, you barely have energy to be a person.
Exactly.
And on those days, maybe you just do 5 minutes. Maybe you just repeat a few lines from a podcast. That still counts.
I really want people to hear that part. That still counts.
Yeah, small practice matters.
Okay, so we've got talking to yourself, we've got shadowing, but eventually, people do need to talk to another human.
They do.
And that is the scary part.
It is. But here's the good news. You do not have to jump into the hardest possible speaking situation, right?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, a lot of people do this thing where they think, okay, I need to practice speaking, and then they choose the most stressful situation possible.
Right, like tomorrow I will suddenly become confident in a full-speed group conversation.
Exactly. Or my first big speaking practice will be a job interview.
No pressure.
None at all.
Just your future.
Exactly. So instead of doing that, lower the pressure. Start small. Start safe.
What does that look like?
It could be a language partner. It could be voice messages. It could be a tutor who is patient and supportive. It could even be a friend who knows you're practicing and is, well, willing to go slowly.
I really like voice messages, actually.
Me too. They're such a good middle step.
Because you still have to speak, but you don't have the pressure of a live conversation.
Exactly. You can think for a second. You can say it. And if it's a disaster, well, you can try again.
Which is honestly a beautiful system.
It really is.
And it helps build confidence before live speaking.
Yeah, so you can go step by step. Maybe text first, then voice messages, then short calls, then longer calls. You're building comfort slowly.
Instead of throwing yourself into the deep end and then feeling terrible.
Exactly. I think a lot of learners quit speaking practice because they start too big, too fast, and the experience just feels awful.
That makes sense.
So make it easier to succeed. That's not cheating, that's smart.
I love that.
And one more thing that helps a lot before real conversations, prepare a little.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this.
Same. Think about a few topics you talk about a lot in real life, right? Your job, your hobbies, your family, your weekend, food, movies, travel, whatever feels real for you.
And then just get a few useful words and phrases ready.
Exactly. Not a whole speech, just a few little building blocks.
I think that's such a good point. People hear be natural and think that means say everything with zero preparation.
Right. But preparation, it can actually help you be more natural.
Because you're less panicked.
Exactly. If you already know how to say a few things about your life, you won't feel like you're starting from zero every time.
That is huge.
It really is. Even having 2 or 3 go-to questions helps. Things like, how was your weekend? What kind of music do you like? Have you seen anything good lately? Very simple, very usable.
And those are the kinds of questions that actually come up in real conversation.
Yeah, real speaking gets easier when practice, well, it looks more like real life.
I feel like that's one of the biggest themes in this whole episode.
It really is. Keep it real, keep it simple, keep it repeatable.
Ooh, that's good.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to ask something that I think a lot of listeners might be wondering. What if someone says, I understand everything you're saying right now, but when I try to speak, I still feel slow. I still feel embarrassed. I still feel like I sound like a child.
Yeah, that feeling is so common, and honestly, it can be really emotional.
It can.
Because language is personal. When you can't express your personality well, it can feel like people are meeting a smaller version of you.
Wow. Yes, that is exactly what it feels like sometimes.
Right? You have humor, you have opinions, you have stories, you have intelligence. But in English, maybe you can only show 10% of that right now.
And that feels painful.
It does. So I think it's important to say this clearly. Your English level is not your value as a person.
I love that.
If you sound simple in English, that does not mean you are simple. It just means your current tools are limited.
That is such an important reminder.
And the tools grow. They really do. But they grow through use, not shame.
Through use, not shame.
Exactly. Being mean to yourself, it doesn't make you speak better.
Sadly.
Sadly, I wish guilt was a magical language tool, but it really isn't.
It is not.
Patience helps more. Repetition helps more. Low-pressure practice helps more. Tiny wins, they help more.
Tiny wins are underrated.
They really are. I think people ignore small progress because, well, it doesn't feel dramatic.
Yeah, they want the big moment, the big breakthrough.
Exactly. But sometimes progress sounds like, today, I answered a question without panicking. Or, today, I spoke for 30 seconds and didn't switch back to my native language. Or, today, I left a voice message in English.
And those are real wins.
They are. They matter. They build confidence. And confidence, it makes future speaking easier.
So if someone is waiting to feel confident before they start speaking more...
They might wait a very long time.
Right.
Right? Confidence usually comes after action, not before it.
That is such a good line.
Thank you. But yeah, it's true. A lot of people think, once I feel ready, then I'll speak. But often you start speaking a little, and that's what helps you feel more ready.
So the order is not confidence first, then action.
Exactly. Often it's action first, and then confidence slowly grows.
I love that. It feels way more realistic.
Yeah, and realistic is good, especially for language learning. People need something they can actually do.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to do a quick recap because I think this conversation has a lot of really helpful pieces in it.
Let's do it.
So first, if you understand English but struggle to speak, that is normal.
Very normal.
Second, listening and speaking they're not the same skill.
Right?
Third, this gap happens because people often practice understanding much more than speaking.
Yep.
And because fear and perfectionism, they can block speaking, even when the words are somewhere in your head.
Exactly.
And then for solutions, change the goal from perfection to communication.
Yes,
Practice speaking in safe, low-pressure ways.
definitely.
Talk to yourself.
Please do.
Try shadowing.
Great tool.
Use voice messages or supportive conversation partners to slowly build confidence.
Exactly.
And prepare a little before real conversations so you're not starting from zero.
Perfect summary.
Thank you, thank you.
You nailed it.
Okay, so for everyone listening, here's a tiny challenge for this week.
We love a tiny challenge.
We do. Here it is. Speak English out loud for 5 minutes a day.
That's it.
Just 5 minutes.
In your room, in the car, while making coffee, on a walk, doesn't matter.
Talk to yourself. Shadow a short clip. Leave yourself a voice memo. Just do something small and real.
Exactly. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Just make speaking a normal part of your week.
And if you want, leave us a comment in English.
Yes, please.
It can be super simple. You can write, I understand English, but I'm scared to speak.
Or, this week I will practice for 5 minutes a day.
Or even just, this episode is me.
Honestly, that would say a lot.
It really would.
And if this is something you struggle with, I really hope this conversation helped you, feel less alone.
Because you are not broken.
Not at all.
You are learning.
Exactly.
And speaking, it gets easier when you practice it gently, consistently, and without trying to be perfect all the time.
That's the path.
Daniel, this was such a good conversation.
It really was. I'm glad we talked about this one.
Me too. And to everyone listening, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for listening to Learn English Buddy.
Keep going.
Keep practicing.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.